morning, and I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not morning at all. It's afternoon, and it's not Monday at all. It's Friday. But we're doing this early, and I hate lying to you. Good morning. This is Monday morning, and this is where we are.
Actually,
Meanwhile,
I will
that's not it
say
at all.
technically it is 11:56, so it is still morning.
Okay, so I got that going for us. It is Monday morning, Friday morning, and this is Marketing Moms. I'm Ann Brennan, and this is
Anastasia Van Gresheby.
And we're here to make marketing easy for you. The reason we're doing it this way, and the reason I made sort of a big deal out of it in the beginning, is that we're going to be out of town next week, and we're going to be on California time. We're going to be at Social Media Marketing World. And while we're there, we are going to do videos every single day, probably multiple times a day. So if you're not following, I would say follow me. If you're not following me or ASMM Digital, so ASMM Digital on Facebook and YouTube, if you follow us, let me think about that. Facebook. Follow us on Facebook right now. And you will see these live videos that we'll do throughout the week. And we'll do them multiple times a day, because what we do, we're going to Social Media Marketing World. We will each do multiple classes every single day. And we don't allow ourselves to sit in the same ones unless that's the only one that's happening, which is, I think, 3 times a day. There is a keynote speaker where everybody goes to the same thing. During that time, we will be together. Otherwise, we're separate. And then what we do in between each session is we come together and we do a live video, and we tell each other what we just learned. And what was our key takeaway from that meeting? Because a lot of times you think, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to learn so much, and you do, but really there's that one thing that you're like, oh, I'm totally applying this, right?
Definitely.
I'm totally applying this. And I think some of it has gone on. We saw Mark Schaefer years ago, and some of what he said is still stuff that we are using on a daily basis.
Ann Handley too. I loved Ann Handley. Yeah. I mean, I still read her weekly email, and everything that she talked about is spot on there too.
Absolutely. So you'll get live video from us next week, but we thought, let's do a special one in case you don't have time for that, in case you only listen to this and don't watch the video. But you're missing out. If you're not seeing the video, there's no telling what you're going to catch me wearing, because this is my pajama sweater. As we started, I'm like, oh, that's my pajama sweater.
It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. But before we start, Ann, I realized that on Monday when we did our podcast, we didn't talk about Luna.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sure that, I was gone for 2 weeks. I haven't seen Luna in like almost a month, actually. I left over a month ago. So I haven't seen Luna in over a month. So you have to give us an update.
Yeah. So for those of you,
what has naughty Luna been up to?
Exactly. For those of you who don't know, I have a Great Dane puppy. She is just over 5 months, and she is 100 pounds.
What?
I know, 100 pounds.
100 pounds.
And, you think she's bad, and you think she's super sweet. She really is. She's actually gotten sweeter. She likes me a lot, and she puts her head on my knee a lot and wants me to pet her. But this is awful. She's in heat. And apparently, I didn't know. I thought, heat, gross, whatever. But what's really awful is that their behavior, it's like she's on crack or something. She runs around the house, and she's constantly doing something. So you can't clean up the mess she just made because she's over there making another mess. And you're just torn because she's like a whirlwind in my house right now.
How long does that last?
We got 1 more week with it.
1 more week?
It said 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Oh my
gosh.
That's worse than a teenage girl.
It is. And she is, when I tell you she's naughty, I was warning somebody who was at our house the other day. I'm like, watch her drink. She's going to eat it. And she's going to knock it over. And I swear to God, I'm telling him, and she's gone over and knocked over mine in the other room. I was like, come on. So, yeah. So she's incredibly naughty.
We need to have her on, have another split screen where Luna has her own screen.
Exactly.
So Luna can defend herself and defend her actions.
Exactly. But the truth is, right now, she's spending a lot of time in her crate because if she's not being watched completely, she can't be trusted. So she's either in her crate or she's outside, or I'm standing there watching her, and I don't have a whole lot of time for standing there watching her. So, but thank you for asking about her, because I think, she's an interesting little character. She's so darn sweet, though. You know, she just so soft and cute and wonderful, but so naughty. So, all right. So we are in California, or we are going to be when you see this. We are in California, and we are at Social Media Marketing World. And one of the reasons that we do this is, yes, it makes us better for our clients, right? We learn stuff that we can immediately apply for our clients. But the biggest thing that we learned early on is that we wanted to be the expert in the room. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you can be the expert in your field. Because the truth is, whether you're going to Social Media Marketing World, or you're going to the latest plumbing conference, or you're going to the latest restaurant conference, or you're reading something every day, you are the expert in your field. You know your field better than anybody else. And you've got to keep that in mind, whether you're selling something online or you're talking to a customer. You are the expert in the field. And so as long as you keep that in mind, your business, I believe, will keep growing. So that's our subject for the day. And I wanted to talk about our idea of always learning. So Anastasia, you can talk about some of the things we've done. Talk about some of the conferences we've done.
So Social Media Marketing World is definitely a staple for us. I mean, I think this is your 4th time going.
Exactly.
This is my 3rd. Whitney's coming with us this time. It is going to be her first. Jordan was supposed to come, but she cannot. She has other commitments that she has. So Social Media Marketing World is very important to us. We've also gone to Digital Summit. That's a good one. It's more broad. It's not just social media specific. So actually, that Digital Summit is coming up in Philly in April. So I was kind of thinking maybe we'll go and have a repeat, and maybe it'll be a better experience on the way home. That's a long story. If you guys want to hear a funny story, that's funny, but it's not one. It's not one for the airwaves for sure.
Exactly.
So and then we do a lot of research online. We are looking at things. We're part of the Social Media Examiner
Marketing Society.
We do, and we're following people online to make sure, just to try and stay up on things, so we do subscribe to some good places to get information.
Absolutely. And then we're reading, actually you mentioned a really good one. And I don't care what you're doing. If you have to write any kind of content at all, even an email, get subscribed to Ann Hadley's email. I'll have Whitney put that in the show notes. The email is phenomenal. I love it every week, and it's not boring at all. It's really, really wonderful. So
it's very entertaining.
So we get that. Sometimes the things might seem not related. One of the things we both do a lot is we listen to the Michael Hyatt and actually Megan Hyatt Miller. We listen to their podcast. It's called Lead to Win. And sometimes that is about just building our business. But sometimes it's about, we can apply the lessons about building our business into how to help our clients. And so we're always learning. Learning is a huge part of what we do.
Not only our clients, and we also, I've learned a lot from that particular podcast about employees too, like just trying to figure it all out. Having employees is tough, like you have different personalities, different work, not ethic, I would say, more work styles, and trying to figure out how to make that all work to grow your own business. That was a good one. There was another one that I really loved. So here's my story. That was a great one.
Yes.
That was very relatable, I felt, to running a business. But they're no longer doing that podcast.
Well, and one that comes up for us a lot, we listen to How I Built This, and it comes up surprisingly a lot. So, especially with people who call me and they say, "I just started this new business," and so we just started. There's a company called Black Pearl Spice Company. We're hoping that we're going to be working with them. We just sent them a proposal, but in the conversation with them, we were able to say, "Have you listened to this podcast?" Because and we were able to say, these are the episodes you should listen to because they relate to exactly what you're going through at this very moment. And that looks good for us, right? It looks good for us when we're able to say, hey, I've got a tool that will help you. So that being an expert doesn't necessarily have to be, yes, I'm the expert in social media marketing. We are the expert in building websites. We're the expert in email marketing. We're in anything marketing related. We are really on top of it. We know it really well, but we also know how to run a business, and that shines through, and that makes a difference to our clients because our clients are businesses, right?
I think another thing about learning too is who you're surrounding yourself with, and this was what we were talking about with the Black Pearl Spice Company.
Yes.
It's a hard one for me to say. Is that we're like, okay, do we need to make some introductions to people that, you don't know who you're going to learn from? Anne is one of our clients is a chimney company. We talk about chimney tech all the time. Your relationship with Vince, the owner, has been something that I think has helped our business, and your businesses, apart from the fact that we do his marketing, the business is going to be more different,
right.
He's physically going into each customer's house and fixing their chimneys. We have nothing to do with that. There's not the expertise there, but that's another way of learning. So I feel like you have to learn specifically about what your business is, but then how to run your business. And that can be done through, reading and podcasts, but also surrounding yourself with people, other business owners that you admire and that you know that you can learn from somebody. And I feel like that's where our BNI groups come into that,
Absolutely.
like part of that benefit is not just the referrals that we're receiving from the fellow BNI members. It's also the lessons that we're learning through their mistakes or through their successes.
Absolutely. Well, and when you say that, one of the things that occurs to me is you can be the expert. So say I knew a ton about social media, but I had 2 clients, right? Then my credibility is lacking, right? And so when people see, they're going to believe that I'm the expert because I have 47 clients or 48 clients, however many we have, and that I am working every day in this business. That makes me more credible when I say, hey, I'm the expert at this, because they're like, yeah, she's got a bigger business. Well, I couldn't do that if I didn't have that area of my learning. So it's great to be somebody who says, I know all of this, but if you can't build your business, it's going to be really hard to have people understand that you are the expert. And that's the goal here. How can you show people that you are the expert in what you do? That can't just be, oh, because I read all this stuff or I've gone to all these conferences. It's because I've built my business on this and I'm helping a lot of people, right? So it matters a lot that you're the expert. But now, okay, now you're the expert. You got a successful business. You know all this stuff. Everybody, that knows you knows you're the expert. How do you show other people you're the expert? And this was where I thought this would be fun for us to talk about, because the first part's important, but for us, we want to show that our clients are the experts. So how are some of the ways that we're doing that? Anastasia, you want to talk about social media?
Social media, you're going out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're educating the people that are following you, you're giving, so you're giving them advice, you may be asking, oh, you can do this, this, and this, and you can call us to do it for you, or you could be flat out just giving people information through your social media. You're showing the recognition that you're giving your employees. You're also sharing anything that you're doing. Like we have a roofing company, we put up their before and afters, so that there is physical evidence showing people how good they can make their house look once it's done. And it's not some stock photo from a roof supplier. Those are great and they work, but at the same time, by using your social media, it's a platform for you it's not bragging. People are
Right.
worried that by putting out, oh, look at how great we are, that it's bragging. That's not it. Like, this is your marketing. It should be saying these are the good things. You're not going to put your bad review on there. Come on, you're going to put your 5-star reviews, because those are the ones that you want people to see. So it's putting your best foot forward, and using your social media.
And if you think it doesn't matter, I will tell you honestly, I asked my architect, I said, hey, when we redo our kitchen, I need a kitchen person to design the kitchen itself. Who do you have? And he sent me a whole bunch of people. And the first thing I did was to go check their social media so I could see their before and afters, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of kitchens are you doing? And, some of them I was like, that's for an apartment or a condo, that person hasn't done a great big kitchen, and I need a great big kitchen, right? So that's not going to work for me. But I've also was like, when I looked and they didn't have any before and after, I'm like, I don't know that they're the expert. I'm going to go on to the next one. I'm going to find the next one. So that before and after matters a lot.
Oh, definitely.
It matters a whole lot.
I mean, I see people putting like people that go to a hairdresser, and I never thought of that, like how important that is to, like, hey, you should put a before and after of somebody's hair that you've done. And I've had friends whose hairdressers had put up their hair, and so they shared it. And then I was like, oh yes, like that's a great way to figure out if somebody can do a good job.
Exactly.
Like, we spend a lot of money on our hair, and I've been growing this for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
If I go to the wrong person and they screw up my hair, like, what am I going to do? So,
exactly.
That's a small investment. But then the kitchens, yes, your roof, yes, the deck, anything that you're spending, whether it's a little bit of money or a lot of money, having before and afters and being able to showcase your work makes a difference.
So actually, I'm going to do, each week we give you something, a takeaway. I'm going to give you a takeaway right now. If you have a business that you take something that's icky and you turn it into something that's beautiful, I challenge you this week to go and take a before picture and take an after picture and post them. It doesn't do you any good if they're just on your phone. I'm just going to put it out there. Doesn't do you a bit of good. It should be on your social media. So make sure it's on your social media. Blogs are a great way of becoming the expert. We have the world's best blog. I'm very modest about it, but it is, right?
It is great.
It's 3 years of every week writing that we have done about this business. If you want to learn about social media marketing, honestly, you could go to the blog and learn everything you want to learn to be able to do what we do. Now, do you have time to do it? Do you have time to keep up with it? Do you have the discipline to do it every single day? Probably not.
Do you have the desire to do it every single day? I feel like that is the number one reason people come to us. It's not that they're incapable of doing it. A lot of people are very capable of doing it. They're just like, here, we have one client who we taught how to do this. He did it by himself. And then when he was finally able to afford us, he was like, here you go. I never want to see this again. You do it.
Exactly. You do it. So so the blogs are a great way to show you're the expert. Chimney Tech has a blog. We write it for him, but he gives us the information for writing it, right? He says, these are the things that you need to know. So when somebody's looking up, hey, my chimney smells bad, right? Mm-hmm. Linthicum has it. They're the Linthicum Plumbing. They have a blog. And if your toilet has condensation on the outside of it, you'll know why when you look at their blog, right?
Beal Technical has a great one too with their they're an IT company and support, and it's it's definitely tells you things that you need to know and what your employees should know about using their computers. So
absolutely. So blogging is a great way to be the expert. I didn't put it here, but in the same vein, creating a book. And honestly, a lot of people, mine was included. If you look at, I had a blog called Ants Running Commentary. I have a book called A Running Commentary, and it's mostly from the blog. It's mostly stuff that I put together from the blog. So having a book makes you an expert in the field. So think about those things. What are things you can create that show people that I am absolutely the expert in the field? Videos. Right? What do
Videos
you,
are great.
yeah, what do you think about what we're doing right now? This podcast, right? Yes, it's on video. Yes, it's on a podcast. We repurpose it in a number of ways, but we're the expert.
Exactly. And when you're doing videos, you're letting people in. It's that becoming the more human that we talk about all the time. People want to know you, they want to know your business, they want to know how you are going to help them, and by
Exactly.
having video, it makes people engage a little bit more, and or a lot more depending on what you're doing. So it brings you that engagement, but it also gives you that humanity that people are looking for.
Absolutely. It's such a great way to do it. Plus, every one of the algorithms love video. Every platform loves video. So find a way to use your video. Webinars. You can create webinars, and I just did a webinar for the Better Business Bureau. This was one of my most fun webinars. I have to be honest with you. The reason was I was frustrated when I went into it because the last time I did a webinar, every person in the audience was another marketer. And they just wanted to know how I do what I do. And I shouldn't be frustrated by that. I should be honored by that because that means, I'm good enough at what I do that other marketers are trying to learn from me. But I was frustrated because one of the reasons we do the webinars is so that we will get new business. And so I was frustrated when I went in. But what happened about halfway through is people started asking questions in the chat. And I spent the entire time answering their questions. That was incredibly powerful. The fact that I could give them the answers to the questions, the marketing questions they've had, it was incredibly powerful. And they've all, like so many people from that have asked Better Business Bureau to have me back, which is really neat, right?
Yeah.
So it goes a long way if you can do something like a webinar to show people what you have, right? So, and then you mentioned this one, Anastasia, the events.
Yeah, speaking of events, we're going to Social Media Marketing World. Every single one of those speakers has a business. So they are promoting their business. They're all marketers. They all do, whether we don't all do the exact same thing, and we don't all do it the exact same way, but they're all marketers. You go to any, there's conventions for everything, for crying out loud. So anytime you're going to an event where there is a speaker, that speaker has something else that they're selling. It's not just their motivational speech. Like some of them are selling a book, some of them are selling their service. So, you go to a home show and there are people that might be talking about the importance of home maintenance or whatever, something like that. That I guarantee you that person has a business. And you're going to be able to hire them. So speaking at events does give you credibility because you can put it on your social media, you can put it in your blog, you can put it out on your videos, and that makes you the expert.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be really big. I mean, sometimes I'll speak at chambers, right? Sometimes I'll speak at groups, a BNI, right?
Exactly,
different places like that. It doesn't have to be huge. I will say, this was just such a coincidence. I had talked to somebody and they had used those exact words. You need to be the expert in your field. And what they said was the person who's on the stage is the expert in the room, right? If the person's on the stage. Well, I went to a in-person event for women business owners, and I got there and it was a very small event. It had not been well advertised. And I went in to speak, and I noticed that 5 of the women who were there owned marketing businesses in this area, same area that we're in. And at first I was frustrated, and then I thought, wait a second. There are 5 women in the audience. I'm on the stage. I'm the expert in this room, right? It makes a huge difference to be on the stage. You're the one that people are going to listen to. So if you have an opportunity, you will find that speaking is going to help build your business because it helps show people that, yep, there's nobody who knows more. They're on that stage.
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking at small events like that are great because if you're speaking at your local chamber, that's most likely your target audience. Right.
Exactly.
They're most likely your future customer. Us going, the goal is to get in to speak at Social Media Marketing World, and if she does, that's great, but it's in San Diego. So yeah, we could get some businesses because I will say not everybody that goes to Social Media Marketing World is in marketing. a lot of people from a lot of other businesses, they're trying to learn it so that they can promote their business. So actually, we have somebody new. Well, one of the people in my group, in my BNI group, has a new employee. And when I said I'm not going to be here next week, I'm going to San Diego to do that, he was like, oh, I'm in charge of marketing at our company now. Can you tell me the name of that conference? So you never know. You very well could get business out of it, out of speaking at something big like that. But the small ones, I think those are the ones that you're going to get your feet wet. You're going to get more comfortable. So think small, and then hopefully you can get bigger.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just had a life insurance agent ask me that yesterday. He's like, how do I get more speaking engagements? And I was like, that's exactly, too many people forget that route. They're looking at how can I reach 20,000 people on social media, as opposed to thinking, how can I reach 30 people in a room that will see me as that expert? And that is like the most targeted audience, because they know you're speaking about life insurance. Yes. They've come to hear it. They're clearly interested. So it's a really, really great way to be seen.
You've got a captive audience that wants to be there. So
absolutely. Anastasia, those are the ones so we had social media, blogs, videos, webinars, books, podcasts, and speaking at events. Are there any other things that you can think of? Your newsletter, right?
Yeah, your newsletter.
Your newsletter can do that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
And doing a good job. and I think, like if you're not doing a good job and there's no word of mouth, because that's where I was going with that, like word of mouth is important as well. Like
absolutely.
If you're not going to get the reviews and the actually, you know what? I think reviews is on there, because when you're asking people, they're like, oh, you did a great job, and leave reviews. That's not you just talking about how great you are. It's also being like, oh, here's what I have to say.
Yes.
In my BNI group this week, the Rebecca, she has a carpet cleaning business. They've come to my house. They've cleaned my vents. They cleaned my carpet. She was like, hey, can you guys leave reviews? We're trying to build up our reviews. So I did. I went ahead and left a review. So that, it was an honest review. It was, she had come to my home and done the work. I personally don't like when people ask for reviews from people that they haven't done business with.
Right.
And so I'm very big on I don't leave a review for somebody unless I've done business with them. So I would say that's an important thing. And and this comes together with, we're saying, how can you make yourself seem like an expert? The way you do that is by asking for those reviews.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, it shows. So like, I think it was Challenger Auto who had a review that talked about, it's a 5-star review. And they talked about the fact that, like, I've taken my car to 3 other mechanics. None of them could find the problem. They kept saying there wasn't a problem. I took it to Jeff. And within a couple of minutes, Jeff, he's like the car whisperer. Jeff listened to it and went, I know what's wrong. Right. Yeah. And they put that in their review. Well, yeah, Jeff's the expert. If I want my car diagnosed, I'm going to take it to Jeff. Right. Definitely. So that's really, really important. So anyway, so be the expert. And there's so many ways. Go back and watch this again. Start at always learning, and then go through and figure out, how am I going to use social media, blogs, videos, webinars, speaking, newsletters. What am I going to use to show people that I am the expert in my field? That's what you need to do. I do want to remind you that we have a blog that it comes out, just in case you haven't noticed the pattern. It comes out every Monday morning. It comes out every Monday morning, usually about 5 o'clock in the morning. So you're probably not awake when it comes out, unless you're like me and you're awake by 4:30. But it comes out about 5 o'clock in the morning, and every week it's a new subject. Every week it's really great information about how to market your small business. So please, it's asmmdigital.com/blog. Go there and see what we've got for you. And I don't ask this very often, but I'm going to say it today. If you need help with your social media marketing, we would love to help you. We take clients on a, we have a monthly fee is how this works, because we do your social media every single day, all year long. So we have a monthly fee for that. We like to say, we become you online. It's the easiest way to explain it. We become you online so that you don't have to be you online. You can just run your business while we're in your Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and Google My Business and all of it. So if you need help with that, we'd love to help you. So ASMMdigital.com, let us know how we can help.
And
Anastasia,
if you have any questions for us that you're like, hey, you guys are going to social media marketing world, I want to know about this, leave a comment. Now you're going to have to leave the comment on Monday or Tuesday because it's only going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But so leave a comment or send us. If you know us and you have our numbers, send us a text. Say, hey, while you're there, can you find out more about this? We're happy to help.
Yeah, we're happy to help. And like I said, tune in, facebook.com/ASMM Digital. Tune in on Monday through Wednesday of next week, because what you're going to find is that we are going to give you little bits of information all week long, usually in, what are they, 5-minute videos.
We meet right between the sessions.
So we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
We sit down, we're like, start recording now. Oh, shoot. Anastasia, you're there. My little tripod?
Yep, it's on your desk.
Okay, thank you. All right. I love that we do that right on the show. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Take care.
Take care.